Here we go. It's Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is, what is today? Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. May have forgotten the date, but I didn't forget the audio today, guys. We've got my voice and we had the intro audio today. But all right, welcome to Markets in the Morning. This is where we take a look at the cryptocurrency market to see how we're starting the day. This is where we take a look at the United States stock market, any type of important news that's going on today as we all get ready to kick off our day here on this beautiful Thursday as we're getting near the end of the week. Yesterday was, it is Wednesday, my dudes. We had huge price action over here in the cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin has been able to sustain itself, still holding above $30,000, just bouncing out of the green box like insanity here. Getting to the point where we're going to have to move on from this thing at some point. It's going to have to get deleted off of the screen and it's going to be time to move on. We've had it for 2 months. It's kind of just been like the thing we always look at. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. We'll delete it live off stream. We'll save the layout and we'll just say goodbye to it forever. But we've been watching Bitcoin in an ABC correction and obviously just totally surging after the completion of that C leg. And like we talked about yesterday, just kind of wanting to see that the momentum could hold and we don't see some like flush back to 26.5 or something like that. But as we see, we just kept marching up even more yesterday and it's still holding today and holding above $30,000. So just an absolute stunning move here in Bitcoin. Optimistic for sure to potentially be getting out of this cruel summer. So I'm excited for that. Looking over at the stock market is struggling this morning. It's been struggling all week. I believe this will be the fourth down day in a row so far for the Dow. We're going to have Jerome Powell testifying again in front of Congress today. I didn't get a chance to really catch much of it yesterday, so I'm not sure of all the things that were said yesterday. We'll see what ends up happening today. There was, as we had read over there on the economic calendar, when he's testifying during the Q&A section or question and answer section, we could see some market volatility. It did not seem that there was a tremendous amount of market volatility yesterday when he was doing that. So we'll see if there is any today. One thing I did notice is he was asked about the cryptocurrency market and whether or not he thought there was staying power with that. I did see that clip at least. And he says it does believe there is staying power with the cryptocurrency market. And then he made a comment or something along I believe it was Warren Davidson that asked the question. I don't know. I was just listening to his voice and the voice sounded familiar. Maybe it was somebody else. And he said, it's a $1.2 trillion market. And he says, yes, but, it was a lot less. That's quite a bit down from what it was a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like thinking to myself, yeah, and so is the stock market. And ever since you and your buddies all banned yourselves from owning stocks and went on the biggest hiking cycle in modern history. Yeah, the stock market is too, Jerome Powell, at the exact same time as you. But either way, I digress. And of course, it's up like 10 or 20x from what it was 3 years ago. But okay. We'll see what they have to say today and if there's anything interesting coming out of there. Otherwise, Bitcoin, man, look at that. $30,000, $30,255. XRP, some volatility in the last 24 hours. There was a quick 15-minute pop that happened last night. Right here, taking it from 50 cents to 52 cents, then taking it back this morning. Again, this is just a volatile range. People have been asking me what do I think of it, and I'm just, this, like I said, when we're in these ranges, these are chaotic. I don't have an opinion on how this range is going to keep going right now when we're like this, still even moving forward. No opinion on it. I know we have a upper boundary where retracement levels are, and you have a lower boundary. In the middle of here, very difficult, and I'm not even willing to guess. As for the stock market, as we're getting ready to open here in the next minute, it looks like Dow Jones down 57 points, which is 0.17%. The S&P down 11 points, which is 0.25%. And then the NASDAQ down 63 points, which is 0.42%. So it looks like the Dow is kind of in the better position of the three of them. We'll see what happens. It's about to open and boom, now we're open right now. Dow Jones down 40, 35, 36, 35, 36 at the opening, down 0.13%. NASDAQ down 69 points, which is 0.48%. And then the S&P is down 11 points, 12 points, which is 0.25%. So we're seeing down about, for the Dow, about 0.1%, the S&P 0.25%, NASDAQ 0.4%. Who's the leaders to start the morning out? Coinbase is doing okay, holding in the green today, obviously, with Bitcoin holding up very well this morning. So very good. Cryptos unaffected by the opening, it looks like, still staying exactly where they were. Dow, any other movements now that we're opening? Dow still looks to be about the same. So we'll see how things go as the morning kicks off. We do get unemployment data this morning. Again, 264, I believe, first-time filers this morning. Initial jobless claims, which is what the exact same number we've had for the last 3 weeks. So kind of on this upper bound here on jobless claims. I know TXMC, you might be there in the audience. He talks about this stuff all the time. And with the second we start seeing big bursts here in the unemployment is the thing to start keeping an eye out of concern. But as of right now, you can see this is really kind of the range we've been in for the last almost 2 years. No big breakout of initial jobless claims happening just yet, but definitely on the upper bound of it for 3 weeks in a row. Dow, now that we've continued to be open, looks like we're still all about the same of where we were at the actual opening. Coinbase still the leader. Mixed day. Tesla's the bigger loser, 2.5% this morning. Of course, the concern with the Dow, the concern with the S&P, the concern with the NASDAQ, they all got back to the retracement levels. So big concerns out there for the stock market. As for me, I've diversified the way I invest in markets, right? I have cash and I buy treasuries, high yielding savings accounts as a portion of my investments. I have gold and silver as a hedge against just the sky falling. And then I don't really play around too much in the stock market. Of my entire net worth, I do believe my stock ownership represents approximately 1 to 2%. So for me, I don't have any interest in being in the stock market with this where it's at. And I've actively tried to talk with family members about the concerns of being here with their 401ks and with their retirement accounts. Nobody seems to care what I have to say. So, okay. But anyway, that's where we are at this point. Gold is taking a tumble this morning, which of course is a more positive sign for the equity market, which is also a positive sign for crypto. Huge, ridiculous belief that gold and Bitcoin are tied together and they're in the same asset class. They're totally opposite asset classes. They're entirely not related to each other at all. This is a positive sign to see gold falling. We know it. We watched this. We were pretty concerned about it back in early May as gold was pressing back up against that all-time high, that would be a bad sign. Should we see that go break out? Be a bad sign for equities, bad sign for crypto. What are we doing here? We've got a big bat fall over here, especially the breakdown. How about that? You break back below that 702 retracement here in the last 3 days. Last 3 days, boom, Bitcoin surging to the upside. So this has been a good sign here to see gold pulling back. Very good sign. DXY took a stumble yesterday, the US dollar currency index. This morning, it's got a little bit of a pop back to the upside, but it took a bigger fall yesterday as I believe European Central Bank did a surprise quarter point raise. I believe it went to 5%. Let's see. It'll be right there, right? Bank of England steps up inflation fight with shock rate hike to 5%. So I guess that gave a little bit of a boost to the DXY. Whatever. I still think DXY is going lower. It's been stuck here in this range now since February. Just chilling. So not a whole lot to say here for DXY, but everybody's panicking about DXY. May 31st, right? 3 weeks ago. Now here we are back down again. So it's just kind of the same thing. Every time this thing starts rising, in the chat, in tweets and everything, what's going on with DXY? What's going on with DXY? What's going on with DXY? Then it comes down. Nobody's talking about DXY. But yeah, so stalled out, waiting for another move to the downside. As for news, I didn't see anything crazy going on with news this morning. We can read the headlines really quick. Bitcoin traders eyeing 28K retracement as Bitcoin price retains 20% gains. Bitcoin equities ETF hits Euronext Amsterdam Stock Exchange. Binance faces scrutiny in Brazil. German intelligence services, dog-themed NFTs. Come on. Why is Bitcoin price up today? Why is crypto market up today? Of course, I forget to put those in my titles because that's the thing everybody wants to click on. Bitcoin crosses 30K. Crypto exchange backed by Fidelity and Schwab launches with additional investors. Shiba Inu introduces Shiba cows to link NFTs to real world items and SHIB jumps. Yeah, okay. It was funny though. We were showing SHIB and how it looked exactly like Cardano from back in 2018 and 2019. As for the market, stocks fall for the fourth day. Let's hit a refresh on that real quick. Looks like we're starting to tumble more in the stock market. Let's go back and look at it really quick. No, okay, 64 points down on the Dow, 11 points on the S&P, 31 on the NASDAQ. No, we're doing fine. We're doing a little bit better, except Coinbase has flipped into the negative. Amazon's up, but they seem to be holding steady through the open at this point. Stocks fall for the fourth day. Boycotts really work. Okay, we're not going to go into that topic. Key Boeing supplier stops production at Wichita plant after workers vote to strike. Okay. It was a 50 basis point rate hike to tackle persistent inflation. We'll read on that really quick. Thursday's 50 basis point hike surprised the markets, which had priced in a smaller rise. Policymakers are walking a tightrope as they attempt to tighten monetary policy sufficiently to quell inflationary pressures without triggering a full-scale mortgage crisis and recession. So I do believe Europe's dealing with a lot worse inflation than the United States is. Core inflation, which excludes volatile energy, food, alcohol, and tobacco prices, was 7.1% year-on-year in May, up from 6.8% in April, and the highest rate since March. So, right, they're going in the wrong direction. Yeah. Surprise market with 50 basis point rate hike, and that seems to be the justification for why the DXY fell yesterday. They voted 7-2 in favor of it. Okay, that's great. I don't know. Who cares? I know people care, but we're talking about crypto. Does this impact crypto? I don't think it does. All right. I mean, obviously it doesn't. If it did, we would have had a strengthening euro causes Bitcoin to fall, which we can even check just for fun. It didn't matter, right? Strengthening euro did. It's still plowed. Okay. Bloomberg. Ford gets $9.2 billion to help U.S. catch up with China's EV dominance. What does that mean? Is that money from like the government, or what does that mean? This is interesting. Like normally whenever I'm clicking on these articles on Bloomberg, they like don't let me read it, but look at this one. They've got like just this big, massive thing going on right here. A deep-pocketed U.S. government program designed to finance futuristic energy businesses is issuing a conditional $9.2 billion loan to Ford for the construction of 3 battery factories. The enormous loan, by far the biggest government backing for a U.S. automaker since the bailouts in the 2009 financial crisis, marks a watershed moment for President Biden's aggressive industrial policy meant to help American manufacturers catch up to China in green technologies. Huh. I mean, I'm not mad. Like, I own Ford stock. I'm not mad. But, I'm sure Tesla's like, what the heck, man? Yeah. That's what it means. To catch up to Tesla. This is what it really means. To catch up to Tesla, we've given them $9 billion. I know that Biden won't even say Elon Musk's name. So, all right. Anyway, news, not a whole lot outside of, we had a little bit of economic unemployment numbers. Did I even show that to you? There it is. Initial jobless claims, 264. Here you have it, 264. Again, highest levels. I believe we already talked about that. We already talked about it. Okay. And then Fed Jerome Powell is going to be speaking again today in front of Congress. And anything else? Oh, yeah. Bitcoin's above 30K. Like, who cares, right? Who cares about anything? Bitcoin's above 30K. So, I mean, that's really kind of the situation we're in right now. And I'm just waiting for the altcoin market to kind of pull back here. Pull back up, work its way back up. It looks like those buys I did last week all have panned out. but I'm just kind of sitting tight right now as the prices are up, and we'll just kind of see how the market works itself out here for a little while in regards to ranging. Are we stalling here at these highs for a couple of weeks or whatnot? We'll see. But otherwise, off and away we go. And maybe as a little like a memorial to this chart, tomorrow we'll delete it live on stream and say goodbye to it. But it's been a doozy to watch it for the last 2 months, but it's now time to say goodbye. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the chat, and I'm going to try to keep this live stream relatively short. So I'll just chat with you guys, talk to some of your questions. And then I'm going to try to keep this thing relatively short. And when I was talking with I was talking with my wife. Why did I say mom? When I was talking with my wife, maybe she is kind of like my mom. Before getting on the stream, I was telling her, hey, I'm going to try to keep this thing short and keeping it under an hour. And you know what she says to me? She says, okay. I'm like, what the heck? Even you don't believe that I'm going to be able to keep it under an hour. So we'll see. All right. Let's see. I think I saw TXMC in here. What's he saying? He's talking about Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin D is doing exactly what you'd expect amidst an SEC litigation storm where countless alts were named securities a week before BlackRock files for a Bitcoin ETF. Yeah. But me and him been talking about something else too, and I've been talking about privately. Bitcoin dominance in 2018 was your safety trade. If you weren't here in 2018, you're just going to have to trust me. But anybody who was here during then knows it. You didn't have stable coins to run into. And Ethereum even lost dominance from 26% down to 7%. You have a whole lot more safety plays in this market right now compared to then. The dominance of Tether in 2018 was less than 1%. Stablecoins in general were less than 1%. And they've gotten as high as 17% now. So Bitcoin has not, so the entire Bitcoin dominance run up was your safety play. TXMC is not a member. How dare him? So that was your safety play. But you have a whole lot more safety plays right now. And even Ethereum is actually your safety play. Because if you look at the dominance of Ethereum, it was at 20% at the peak of the market. It's still at 20%. It's been your safety area. And so that's what a lot of people won't talk about when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. It's just this narrative, especially through the Bitcoin Maxi crew. And I'm not talking about TXMC in general at all. I do know his primary thing is Bitcoin, but he's not like a Maxi, but maybe. But that the dominance run up in 2018 was a safety play. Every altcoin was falling. You had Ethereum going down 94%, XRP down 96%. The place that the clear narrative to run to for safety was being Bitcoin. And that's not the case now. You have Tether, you have USDC, you have Ethereum all holding their dominances just fine. And if you look at the dominances, all of them combined, I'm going to highly doubt there's much more left for Bitcoin dominance to do anything at this point. And we'll talk about that again in the future. I'm not going to cover that today, but I've done thorough investigations on it, that there's the Bitcoin dominance itself will likely never be like it was in 2018, ever. All right, let's jump in. Oh, wait, I'm way behind. Okay, here we go. Oscar, first out the gates, my man. Thank you very much. Says hit the like button. Yes, thank you. We have 1,804 people in here. We have 381 likes. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 before the stream wraps itself up. D, on Bitcoin Cash doing fib retracements to check when to get out, where would you set the fib retracement at? Not financial. Well, first would be, peak market of 2021 and then peak market of 2018 as your peak to the trough. Trough meaning bottom. So if you're trading and if you're just trading, right, you're trading the range you're within at the time, right? So your current range is the fall of 2021, right? Then if you get beyond retracements, then you have a bigger range to go beyond that. And that's going to be back to 2018, 2017. And then you get beyond that range, then, you're in new all-time highs. But otherwise, with trading, it's all about your current range you're in right now. And your current range is going to be 2021 to here. Thank you, D. Jerome T. Hi, BCB. Being with you in this market since 2017. Well, okay. And since then, I made many mistakes. We always talk about our successes, but can you share a few of your biggest mistakes? Oh, man. Well, first of all, I've been here since 2019. My YouTube channel has been here on since 2019. But yes, I have been in here since 2017. I've talked about a lot of my mistakes. I've talking about in my early days getting shooken out. I've had, I try not to say numbers of what I've lost in a short period of time. But like a lot, I've had moments in time where I've lost essentially an entire house in a week, but like just stupid mistakes, like really stupid ones from an emotional standpoint. Was really this one right in here. I'll never forget this one. And then really trying to do so much day trading up in here. Realize day trading is nothing is going on the bigger scale of multi-years. The hodlers are going to win. Even if you're like ridiculously experienced, the hodlers are going to win. And that was the big mistake I had to learn through all of this. Trying to day trade it all. And then not having the emotional management through all of that, being here, and then by the time you got here, having like half the Bitcoin that I would have had I just held the whole time. And those were big mistakes that I made during that time back in 2017. And I changed all that up here. So I started learning all those lessons back then of over trading. And then you're trying to chase trades, you're trying to make up for bad trades, and you dig yourself into a deeper hole. And that's just the worst. So then back then you don't really have the emotional management because you just don't have the experience in the market. You take a loss and you're hurting really bad. And you just start leading down stinking thinking and worse decisions. But I'll never forget this one. This one came back with such a vengeance, and that's very similar to kind of what we have happening right now, right? Let's go look at Bitcoin. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. Okay. Why is it not showing up down here? Okay, we'll just, we'll do this. And then we'll do this. Structurally, while they look slightly different, they're very similar. And that what happened in here, right, is, imagine, right, and then we come back into retracement, and then as we pull back down, I sell right here because I'm like, all right, we're breaking down, right? We just took out this floor over here. We're breaking down. And then what happened with the price? It fired straight back up. And we were back near the highs again, once again, similarly to like what we are right now. So I'm going to bet you there's a lot of people who did the same thing. The SEC came in and attacked. They made it all scary, freaked people out. They sold, and suddenly the market just got away from them very, very quickly. I've made that mistake before. And that's why, last week It didn't feel good. It didn't feel like the right time to buy. It felt like garbage. But being through these kind of things before, I made this mistake here and watched Bitcoin fire up 55%. That was brutal. That was brutal. And like an idiot, when do I buy? Right there. What does it do? Pulls right back down another 20% back down. Of course, what are you thinking then? No joke, dude. No joke. Sold. Bought back in. So, I've been through those. I've been through that. This is over 5 years. This is about 5 years ago. No, this is 6 years ago. Sorry. This is 6 years ago at this point when this is all happening to me. And so when I come on here and talk about it, I can relate to a lot of it because I think it's just kind of the growing pains everybody goes through in the beginning and what you end up doing, and you're emotional in the beginning. You come in here thinking, I consider myself pretty analytical. I figure I can beat everybody in the market, right? But then if you don't have the emotional tools and equipment or the understanding of what's happening in the markets, those emotions cause stupid decisions. And that, they say, this game is 90% emotional control and 10% technical analysis. And I don't know if I completely agree with that, but certainly if you don't have the emotional control, you stand zero chance. But 2017 was mixed with all those types of mistakes, right? And obviously a lot of these altcoins in 2021 just didn't do. The market dynamic of the altcoins changed, right? You go back in here, you go accumulate the top 10 in here. Guess what? You're a multimillionaire after the first alt season in here. You go accumulate the top 10 throughout here. Guess what? Only 2 of them are going to go up in here. So that was obviously a struggle for 2021. And here in 2023, it's been a lot of studying and trying to figure out what was the dynamic shift in the market. Why did the market not properly price in the top 10 or even the top 20? How could we go through years of bear and so many coins remain in the top 10 and then utterly just be nothing? And so trying to figure out what were the hidden data points in there. And that's what I've been working on for the last several months. But otherwise, the main thing has been emotional control. And while being here in 2017, while making money in 2017, Bitcoin from 1,800 all the way to 20,000, and XRP from 20 cents to 350, 330. There were still so many mistakes made in there in thinking that, you're going to beat the market. And the thing that I learned, the biggest lesson I learned in here was, the dinguses, the dummies, the dudes who just held on and were screaming, and we don't see that anymore, but it was totally culture. And the insanity of these moments, they're screaming buy the dip. And you're looking at them like, you're so stupid. No, it's going lower. No, don't you get it? Mr. and Mrs. We're going to 10 to 12K people, right? That was me back throughout here. We're going lower. Are you stupid? And watching how that all played out, and that the hodlers were the ones who crushed it. And it wasn't until we were the depths within here to go back and review everything and look at it and say who was still around, who wasn't still around. And it was unquestionable the people who just held on and rode it up and didn't try to out trade everybody won. Killed it. And I learned that lesson. And even in 2021, the stuff where I made the biggest gains and the most profits in 2021 were from holding on for dear life. And that was just a fact. Holding Bitcoin all the way up, holding Ethereum all the way up, holding Cardano all the way up. You're not going to out trade a 10,000% gain. You're just not going to. Day traders are looking at 3% here, 4% there, 7% there. uh, the 10,000% gain is literally the diamond hands. It's the laser eyes, which we didn't have that term back then. It was just hodl, right? Hold on for dear life is what the term always was. But the only people who are going to get those big, massive things are the people who are holding on strong and not day trading. Day traders sell you a bag of goods saying they're crushing it. They're not. No way. They're just not. I mean, they may make 10% here, 20% there, 30% there. They're not making 5,000%, 3,000%, 10,000%. That only comes from the sheer insanity of holding on for dear life. And I had to learn that lesson by trying to beat the market, especially by looking at it like on the minute chart, the hourly chart, the 5-minute chart, trying to play the game, man. And then I also learned that the quality of my life, like this is and other mistakes, like the quality of your life is so garbage. If you're staring at 15-minute charts and if you're this is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week market. Your life is going to be sheer misery if you are trading the 15-minute charts, 5 minutes, hour charts. It's just horrible. And there has to become some level of a personal boundary between you and this market. You have to be able to step away to where you're not laying in bed thinking about an active trade that's going on. And that I was able to separate myself from having to be so obsessed with the market, thinking about it 24/7. Once I switched that mentality to where like 95% of my portfolio, 98% of my portfolio is totally just hodl. So, and that's for each and every person. Like Alpha Beta Soup says, it depends on the rules you set for yourself. Sure. But that's discipline, right? And do you honestly believe a lot of people have a tremendous amount of discipline, right? Because we know for a fact this market is a lot of sheer gambling. If you sent money to Ben.eth, you're a sheer gambler. There's no other definition outside of that than gambling, right? If you went wild on every different meme coin that every influencer was pushing a month ago, that was sheer gambling, right? That was not in any way anything else beyond just gambling. And so if you want to bring a gambling mindset to all this and you're getting high off of each and every victory and you have to buy something today because it's going to go up 50% today, and then that's just a gambler's mindset, and you need that fix, you need that high, you need that dopamine rush right now, that's a different story. So, patience. All right, moving on. Denny says, hey, how do you copy fractals in TradingView? Also, you use first on log, right? Do you still think Dow Jones may perform a 1920s style crash? Well, even if the Dow does crash, my theory is not that it's going to actually do 1920s. I don't think it's... I've gone through this. I don't think... Right, I'm not going to go into full explanations on why this is such a dangerous level. I'm praying we do get that 4.236 extension hit, but we all know it's super dangerous here with it being at the 702 retracement. But the 1920s crash is like this. We're not acting like that, right? This is your classic immediately huge fall, 40, 50%. That's your banger of doom right there. Back and retrace. This is just not what we're doing. We had very organized fall that happened in here for the Dow. This is not something that would look like Great Depression. Would have been something like this, right? We're not. This is very organized. This is acting much more like Wyckoff distribution happening in here. But even if we do go down from here, like a good example would probably be like your 2018. 2019 Ethereum. That really is more along the lines of this. That it's more of just like 40 years. 40 years. Not like 3 years of Doomtown. But it falls. Everybody gets their hope and optimism back up that was the end of it. And then we roll over again for another decade after that. That would seem more likely to me. Or alternatively, that this is distribution, which I'm not going to go too into. We went into it last week. We went through it with the NASDAQ. And in a distribution schematic, it would be more like this, right? Something similar to like what we saw with Bitcoin, right? That'll just take longer. But no, I would be hard shocked. Like, first of all, wouldn't be shocked if we see Great Depression, but would be shocked for the stock market to behave in a manner like the Great Depression did, where it's just straight down for 3 years and then the bottom's in. I would find that hard to believe. My thesis is more of, this is going to be long. Most of us the rest of our lives. Yeah. Doomtown. Hey, PCB. Thanks for being a doomer. You had another question in there. Fractals. Yeah. So if anybody ever wants to tweet at TradingView to try to get them to fix this, that would be fantastic. I've been trying myself for the longest time with no luck. I feel like I'm on a lonely ship and I'm just out there at sea by myself and nobody is helping me and nobody seems to care. But there has to be 100 dozen people out there who care. If we are on log scale right here, so I have log off, log on, and if I go grab a fractal, suddenly the fractal is not appropriate. Notice suddenly it doesn't go all the way to the top up here. See, it's short right here. Like we should be coming all the way to the bottom, but for some reason it has compressed this fractal to not be an appropriate size. It's close, but look, it's not. Like I can line up these bottoms down in here. Suddenly this thing is short. It's not fitting anymore. It's not appropriate. You can see it's like you're blurry and your vision is off slightly, right? It should be perfect, but you're slightly blurry. Notice it's not hitting here. It's not hitting here, but it is hitting here. However, if we take ourselves off of log scale and then we grab the fractal, suddenly it does fit. And then if we put ourselves back onto log, it also fits. Notice if I grabbed it while we were on linear scale and not log and then flipped us back to log, it worked. But if I try to grab it while we're in log, suddenly it doesn't work again. Right? Let me change the color on this one. I'm hoping some of you can get the attention of TradingView. I've tried to open support tickets on it. And this has been going on for over a year now. I have tweeted at them. Why they don't care is beyond me. But either way, that doesn't fit. So the only way to get these fractals to work, if you want to use them on log scale, is to take yourself off of log scale, grab the fractal, then put yourself back onto log scale, and then it will fit. So there's something wrong with their program. Now, in order to get to that, in order to get the bars pattern, it's going to be over here where you have the long tool. So long position, this is your risk to reward. If you're going to be taking a trade, how far you're targeting, how far you're willing to set your stop, and what your risk to reward ratio is. That's what the icon is going to be like over here on the left side of your screen. Click on that. Down here, you'll see bars pattern. Boom. There you go. That is how you get fractals. Well, thank you, Denny. Ryan Chase, hit the like button if you're a Degen dingus. Thank you, Ryan. Cam Bria says, hey, BCB, been with you since 2019. You're the best. Question, do you think whales will frustrate the public holders with large sells as price moves up? So in other words, will the price not go in a perfectly straight line to the upside? Yeah, it'll probably be a rocky road. It historically always is. People always want, the 2017 bull run was not easy. I remember all of these things. All this stuff was rough the whole way out. You look at it and you say, oh, that would have been so easy. But this right here to here is a whole year. And especially if you're looking at things like we were just talking about a minute ago, if you are on 15-minute charts, if you're on 1 hour time frame charts, all these moves are gigantic and these percentages are huge and rough and turbulent seas, and you're falling 41% on Bitcoin. Most people in this market, if you saw 41% fall on Bitcoin right now, imagine if price just instantly fell to under 18,000 to 17,800. It scared the living daylights out of this market. So those prices are those are real. I definitely would have zero expectation of it being a smooth ride to the upside. We always talk about it. On the ride down, the price action is going to try to lure you back into buying in a downtrend. And in an uptrend, the price action is going to try to lure you into selling. So there's shakeouts in both directions, shakeouts at bottoms, shakeouts on the way up, and then trying to lure you back in when in a downtrend. It's always going to psychologically try to mess with you. But yeah, Cam, that was your first time. Thank you very much. But yeah, for sure, there's highly unlikely it'll be a straight line up. D says, what are your thoughts on XLM and its bull run? Hit the like. Well, XLM's development data has just died, fell off a cliff. I'm not even sure what XLM really does these days. Obviously I went to Consensus 2023. Stellar had a major presence there. They were I think they were the star sponsor of the whole thing of Consensus 2023. And they had this giant area in the middle, very impressive. Even the lanyards that we're all wearing have Stellar printed all over them. So they were there for sure. But, the funny thing is, like, you look at Near, you look at Neo, you look at Filecoin, all these other companies that also have developer decline. They also are, like, some of them getting SEC issues. I'm not so sure if just being a big sponsor at Consensus 2023 has any indication on a bull run for a token or a coin. But I'm also not convinced, like I've mentioned in here. And for some reason, people in the chat, they get angry when I speak honest. If somebody asks me about something, what was the one it was about yesterday? VeChain the other day. If you guys don't want honest responses from me, don't ask the question. I'm going to tell it to you straight, right? Like, so with Stellar Lumens, where is the Stellar Lumens community? There is literally not one. It is all XRP people, right? So my guess, D, are you an XRP person? First, right? If you're XRP first, is it just you're getting Stellar Lumens because of XRP? Because that seems to be the legit thing everybody does. There is no Stellar Lumens community. It is XRP community who is also buying Stellar Lumens, which was Jeb McCaleb, which was part of Ripple. It's just like, whatevs. Alpha Beta C. People don't want honesty. They want you to defend their bags. Yeah, no, they want promotion, right? And I understand that. But it's like on brand for me, right? Mr. Nobody, tell me EOS is the future of money. Unlikely. All right. Let's move on. I'm not going to beat Stellar Lumens. And I tried to give. So while I make those statements about Stellar Lumens and that I think it's really just XRP holders buying Stellar Lumens, I have wanted to make sure, because I know 99.9% of you were not at Consensus 2023. 99.9% of you did not get your eyes on it, and I did. That the Stellar Lumens brand was everywhere. It was all over the lanyards. They were the big sponsor. They had a big area in the middle. And there's no question their name was plastered everywhere. So I will tell you that, right? Whether that means anything or not, they were like major. They were major at Consensus. So, yeah. Thank you, D. Mana Burn, Bitcoin retrace target 53,000, which is a $1 trillion market cap. Crypto 2, 4.2366 extension, 5.9 trillion. Bitcoin dominance result 15%. What do you think? I don't think we'll see a 15% Bitcoin dominance. I haven't run the numbers in a while on Bitcoin dominance. Also, I'm now very aware that if you look at the safety trade of Bitcoin plus Ethereum plus Tether plus USDC, that it feels like the safety trade has really run its course. I'll have to take a look at Bitcoin dominance in a while. I haven't done it in a long time. I think the last time I ran it, which was like a year ago, it was more like 30%. Maybe it was 15. I can't remember. That was more like 30. Is it 30? No, that just... Where is it? Hold on. Okay. I could, that'd be so low. I couldn't imagine it. Maybe somewhere in like the mid 20s. Mid 20s. But like, and this is an example, right? This is 2018's Bitcoin dominance. That this is not the same market. That in most people, I'm gonna do this real quick. Let's do a poll just to engage with the audience. Start a poll. Were you heavily involved in crypto in 2018 through 2019? Yes. No. All right, we'll run that for like 2 minutes. So in crypto, the safety trade was Bitcoin, and that's hard to wrap your head around. You think to yourself, I'm just going to get into US dollars. I'm just going to do that. We didn't have that then. We had Tether, but Tether's market cap was like 1.4 billion dollars, and which represented less than 1% of the entire market. There wasn't the trust there to go hang out and stables and earn a yield and try to avoid a downtrending market. The only place to go to was to get into Bitcoin as your safety trade. And that dynamic has obviously shifted in the market to stablecoins, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the variety, and that it's no longer just Bitcoin. It is now most. Okay, so how many are we at? 263 votes. 2/3 of people were not in crypto in 2018 to 2019. Okay, so only about a third of people will know what I'm talking about. Bitcoin being your safety play to go sit in, while altcoins fell 94 to 96%. Some cases not over 98%, like Cardano. There was no stablecoin market, right? You had Tether, but it was like $1 billion in a $300 and $400 billion market. And that seems to be why this is different. And eventually we'll show a chart, not today, showing that the safety trade, this likely is the end of the safety trade right here. But it doesn't mean we turn over immediately and start crumbling down right now. But my guess is there's a really good shot that's the end of the safety trade. Okay, we'll end it. That's a good stat to know. 2/3 of people were not here in 2018 to 2019. It's weird because I think sometimes when I talk, I talk under the impression that most people were, and I do need to remember that 2/3 were not. But as for a Bitcoin retracement, would you say 53? Is that right here? Yeah, so like this is the 702, right? One thing to focus on, remember this. We've talked about this a lot, and I am going to treat it that way. This is a big thing, right? You said 53, right? 702 retracement. Market cap. I don't care what any dingus that has a YouTube channel or goes on CNBC says. They say market caps don't matter. They're full of it. full of it. Don't listen to him for half a second. Serious. I'm serious. Market caps matter. And so it's going to be when Bitcoin's market cap gets there for me. Which means that Bitcoin will likely come up short. Like, not drastically, not like way down here at 48. If the market cap hits the 702, the Bitcoin price will be lower. Why? Inflation, right? We have like 900 Bitcoins made every single day, or mined every single day, right? That's a dilution of supply. And the Bitcoin price has been way more reactionary with the market cap than it has been with the actual price chart. So just keep a reminder in your head that the market cap has been the reactionary thing for Bitcoin. So we'll see. Kind of like you did use market cap when it came to altcoins. D said 1,600 viewers with only 260 likes. That shows how far behind I am. And dang it, we have 10 minutes left or else my wife wins. I told her I'd keep this thing under an hour. Let's see if we can pick up the speed here. Thank you, D. And yeah, we have 2,000 viewers today. We have 770 likes, 778 likes. Let's see if we can cross over the 1,000 finish line. Sandal, thank you. Pat, thank you. Man, thank you. Five memberships by Pat. I appreciate it. Pi. Hey, BCB, why XRP didn't pump with the rest of the market yesterday? And hit the like, guys. Yeah, you better be prepared for that. That's always going to be the case. So your question should also be, why did XRP rise when the rest of the market fell? You know what I mean? XRP is going to not, in the day-to-day price action, XRP is not going to act with the rest of the market. And actually, it did rise yesterday. If you didn't catch it, it actually shot up, and it actually got into the top of the list, but then fell, obviously. But definitely do not have your heart set on that. If your heart is in any way set on that XRP is going to do this with the rest of the market as the rest of the market is grinding up, your heart is in the wrong place. I'm very sorry. It's not. XRP has never done that. If the market is grinding in this direction at this velocity, XRP is not going to do that. It is either going to go here and catch the market, or it's going to go here and catch the market, but never with the market. So don't have that expectation that it will. Otherwise, it would actually be acting different than it always has. It's kind of always like, while in the bigger, broader trend of things, and with, altcoin market surges and stuff like that, XRP goes with them. In the ranging behavior, it's not necessarily exactly with the market. And this whole thing right in here, this is not what the rest of the market was doing in here. This was XRP's own thing. So, why was XRP rising when the rest of the market was not? Right. So, definitely just do yourself a favor and don't get your hopes on that, or else you'll find yourself disappointed all the time. But speaking of XRP, Jeremy Hogan had posted last week. He said every Thursday and every Friday are the most likely times we would get a ruling from Judge Torres. So it is Thursday today. So fingers crossed we get something. All right, I'm at 53 minutes. I got to hurry. All right, thank you, Pi. Joseph Wiley. Fun fact, most song titles are not subject to copyright laws. So Taylor Swift does not have to pay any royalties to Banorama for Cruel Summer. Yeah, I say Cruel Summer all the time. And I'm pretty sure I revealed this on the channel, but I've totally used that term because of Taylor Swift. It's a cruel summer. I don't know if I can sing it, right? Plus, do you guys want me singing Taylor Swift? Jeez. You look so gritty like a devil. All right. Pat Broader. Good morning, dude. I bought all dips of last year. Thanks for always keeping my eyes on the prize. Still excited for big things this year. AVAX. I don't follow AVAX, and I did check the developer data on AVAX. I do believe they were way down. Let's see if I have it open here. I don't own any AVAX, and they're big time down 37% year over year. For full-time developers, down 46% year over year on total developers. And this data is through April 1st. So we don't have all of April, May, or June yet. I'm looking forward to getting that data. But I definitely, anything with that level of developer loss, it's something that's just, I'm not even looking at it. I don't even know if it's on this list. It is on this list. There it is. But this was a list kind of compiled of popular stuff from 2018, 19, 2021. I'm sure it's missing a lot of stuff too, but it's not even something I've considered. I don't even think I've ever owned AVAX, ever. But I certainly won't be right now, just because that's kind of my hard rule right now. If you're seeing big developer loss, I've already been down that path. I've already gotten hurt by that path. I'm not going to get hurt by it again. Or if I do, whatever. I had other justifications and reasonings for why. I don't know enough about AVAX. Maybe it's got some other stuff going on for it that offsets that. I don't know. But at negative 37%, it's a big red flag to me. So I'm not too educated on it outside of that. But thank you, Pat. Ryan Chase. By the way, BCB, big fan here. Been watching your YouTube videos since the 2008 financial crisis. Thank you. I appreciate the support, Ryan. It's been a long journey. Back in 2001. I just never thought I'd make it. Not Oscar. What's up, dude? See, I called you out yesterday. See, I know you're hanging out here, man. You're hanging out here. Then you swap over to Not Oscar. Says, good morning, BCB. I heard my name yesterday and realized you don't know. Not Oscar is on strike until course and merch. But since I'm here, will you do a quick deep dive into EOS? Just kidding. Don't do it. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't know you were on strike. I didn't realize that. Well, hopefully we pull you out of strike, at least from the course next week. And then in the week after that, or the week after that, we pull you out with merch. The course is currently at 35 videos long, 10.8 hours long. Today and tomorrow, I record the last videos, like the last 5. Oh my gosh. I know you guys have been frustrated that the videos on the channel have been inconsistent, but that is what's going on. It's been insane. 35 videos, 10.8 hours of content will be released hopefully next week. It will be released next week. It's no longer hopefully. It's next week, guys. Again, $39 one time, no subscriptions, no nothing like that. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Just kind of putting out all the knowledge I've learned from the crypto market in there. A lot of the stuff you guys know, but it's in a super organized format, and probably a lot of the mistakes that you do along the way in crypto to try to kind of bypass all those just stupid mistakes we all make that end up being costly, and just teaching pretty much everything my mind can come of with technical analysis is put in there. And then going through the 2021, 2017 bull runs, going through the altcoins, the winners, the losers, what happened, why was the dynamic different, emotional management, all that stuff. Elliott wave. I know you guys wanted Elliott waves, man. That was a doozy to put that one together. That was recorded 2 or 3 weeks ago. Wyckoff accumulation, that was all recorded. We have Wyckoff accumulation distribution. Whew. It's been a doozy. I can't believe we're nearing the finish line. I cannot believe it. But it'll be next week. So that's when that will go. Oscar, then you have to come out of retirement. I understand merch is part of it that you need to, but we're getting there. This was the big project. This is the thing I've been working on for I believe it's been over March, April, May, and June. Over 3 months I've been working on this one. And it's finally coming. I can't believe it. But all right, it's nice to see you, Not Oscar. Andrew Zima, BCB, thank you for everything you do. Well, thank you for your support, Andrew. You are a legend. Your knowledge and support has saved me from lots of stress. Any thoughts on H-bar? Is it going through a typical leg 6 of a crashing structure, leg 7? Okay, that's a good question. Let's take a look at it. I'm guessing you're just talking about this moment right in here. If this can flip over right there and then go, right? That you're kind of pulling back into that wave to go back for that. I think it's possible that it is why I haven't been a buyer this week, right? I was a buyer last week. I'm not a buyer this week. And this, maybe the market's taking off and going. One other one that I saw that kind of left me a little bit on edge was like optimism in that same regard. If optimism can't clear through here, right? So like what are you guys used to seeing? You guys are used to seeing it kind of like that, right? So in case you do have in a crashing structure, right? What would we have? One. Oh, geez. I don't want that. Wait, let's do that. Settings. Normal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. We break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to wave 4 within wave 5. There's a stall flush bottom, right? That's something on my mind, if that's your question. I'm assuming that's what your question is in pertaining to H-bar, because it's very similar to that. And then I had noticed this over here in optimism that has me kind of like, I'm going to hold off this week to see what comes of this in here for this, and if this is signaling something for the rest of the altcoin market or not. So far, signs have been okay. We've seen pretty decent sized moves happen in the altcoin market, but nothing of like a breakout happening in the altcoin market currently right now. So this was all accumulated for me in the market last week. I'm not necessarily talking about optimism. Well, I did grab a small amount. My money was flushed where I wanted it to go last week. Now it's sitting about waiting. I'm not willing to buy here. If the prices fire off, hey, I did fine. I'm cool. I'm good. But if there's one final deployment, it's not even going to happen. Even if we get back here, I'm not doing it. It has to be that now for me to do anything. So like an example of this. Let's see if, well, let me do this. Please do this. TradingView, you're driving me crazy. Okay. Right, is something like this. Right, so that what you've had happening in here with all of this and this break, that puts you right there, brings you back to wave 4, right? So like in this example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to 4. Fall. Crack, bottom, right? Gone. So I think it's reasonable to have that concern right there, and that's why personally for me, I'm cautious on doing anything this week. So excited to see that happening with the altcoin market. The altcoin market's popping. Not sitting here thinking we're necessarily out of the woods yet on the altcoin market. However, over here on Bitcoin, this is just like a rock star thing that has happened here. And I think the altcoins market is turning around. But whether or not if Bitcoin's going to shuffle in here for a couple of weeks, is that where we're going to get some action in the altcoin market, and then they're all going to shift up together. So I see your concern. I think it's a valid concern. And for me, that's why I'm not buying this week, but last week I was a mega buyer. So we'll see. Craig Tilbury says, hey, BCB, loving the stream as always. Thank you, Craig. It's very generous. Can you give us your thesis for XRP price action if Ripple lose the case and XRP secondary market transactions don't get clarity? I'm not going to go down that path because I get those all the time. Give me the theoretical price action of what will happen in the event of this. I don't know, man. Like, right? I don't know. That it would be an insane event. You know, is there going to be a flush of leverage at the same time? Is it going to be panic selling? Are a lot of these people who say they're here for the long term, who are willing to stick it out, are they actually here for the short term? What would happen in a short term event of a straight line candle down, and where the candle is going to stop would be very difficult. And your donation is very generous. I do appreciate it. I can't, I mean, you know what I mean? That's like a crazy hypothetical that would just be silly to guess. I would, like, anything I told you on what would happen at that exact moment would be so made up with no data to be able to say this is what happened the last time a 2.5 year case lost, right? I wouldn't know in crypto. So the best response I can give you is to not make up something. And like, I could say something and say, I think there's a 50-50 chance of this happening. But even if I said that, that's not true. I don't even know that to be a 50-50 chance. Like, based on any experiences, right? A lot of the times when we say percentages, it's based on, you know, what our perception is of what we've seen before. Our guesstimate. I would not have a guesstimate for you. But I know there's a lot of people worrying right now because they had a lot of hope on Bill Hinman emails. And so you've got a lot of worry out there right now in the market. For me, nothing changed, right? I thought Bill Hinman emails were going to be nothing. I'm not sure, no matter how many times I said it, it was only for us to sit there and whine and complain about on Twitter. Whine about emails and complain about them and yell about them. It wouldn't change summary judgment. But thank you, Craig. The best response I can give you is to be completely transparent and say, I don't even have a life experience or experience to lean back on to tell you what would be the immediate result of that. I am friend of God. Hey, BCB, are your price predictions for Bitcoin and XRP still the same? Yeah, nothing has changed. Thank you. Spence, help, I'm still stuck in EOS. Jesus, dude. Yeah, this was addressed big time over a year ago at this point. I've rotated when you did. I've been making small additions as price has tanked the last couple of years. When do I just take the L? This was whenever you want, man. I took the L on it over a year ago at this point, rotating it. It's been, at this point now, it's been completely abandoned, right? And that's what we talked about over a year ago. Was that there was an abandonment of even the Twitter page at that point. So, you know, you can ride it with the rest of the market, hope it gets a good pop with the rest of the market. Maybe something comes of it. You know, markets tend to move together. It's up to you. And should I hold? Should I sell? These are answers you got to make for yourself, man. You're looking for someone to tell you how to make your buys and your sells. I'm good about buying red and selling green, but I feel stuck now. Well, you have to understand, it doesn't matter what asset you've been owning in this market. They're all like that, right? Algo. Right. It's like saying, oh no, this one asset I have is doing this, and it's nothing else in the market that is doing it. It is your whole market doing it, right? So it's not a situation of one coin. That's you know, you can in most circumstances, people will wait or, put it in something you feel more comfortable with. It's up to you. But will it move up with the rest of the market? Likely. Is it going to get much steam in it? What we have noticed is anything that has developer loss underperforms the market. That's what happened in 2021. All right. Oscar Hernandez, don't be like Lurker Gary. Hit the like. Be a gorilla. Hey, we just hit 1,000. Good job, guys. Rock on. Hey, BCB, I love your content. What do you think about Litecoin chart now? Thanks. Great from Poland. So, of course, Bitcoiners are all going to point to Bitcoins being named by the, these ETFs and stuff like that, and the exchange backed by Fidelity and Charles Schwab. Realize Litecoin was named in all of these too. So the problem with Litecoin, though, is that the dang thing has been stuck under here. Just stuck. So the question is, will it get out, right? It looks like a contracting triangle. So I talk about this in LA wave theory in the course. Or an ascending, right? ABC. Problem is, it's got to get through here. And it's just been stuck here, and it's been here for all year. And so this is the only thing that just has me concerned. If it can get out of here and even get up in here, and even if it gets stalled out in retracement, it's fine, so be it. But the big scary thing about it is still being stuck under there. And I'm uncertain what to think of it while it can't get out. So if we can get a breakout in here, I'll get pretty optimistic on Litecoin. Again, Litecoin is one of the ones that has just like Bitcoin Cash, just like Ethereum. I understand it's a very what term do we want to use? I don't even know what the term would be, but just like people love to point the finger at Bitcoin and point the finger at Ethereum, right? The only ones with clarity, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin Cash and like Litecoin have it too. Like they do. It's like the original ones from Coinbase. It's the ones that are on PayPal. It's the ones that are on Robinhood. It's the ones going on to the Fidelity exchange. Like it's one of them, right? So it has that going for it. But outside of like use for Litecoin, what are we going to use it for? I don't know. Like I know they added the Mimble-Wimble network to like improve like privacy and stuff, but you just don't hear much about it. So I don't know. I think from like a regulatory standpoint, Litecoin's pretty good, but from a TA standpoint, it is at a sticky point of being stuck under here. So otherwise, I'm just constantly under the concern here. But should it get a breakout here in a contracting triangle, still it's like targets like $800 if it gets out. So it's still a wait and see. It's just like the rest of the market. The rest of the market isn't ready to go yet. Thank you, Powell. Oscars Hernandez's is a Lambo When Moon. Thank you so much. I can't remember how to pronounce this. Definition. Cornet. There we go. Morning, my dude. You're a real inspiration for me. I'm big on the market analysis and finance and also a fellow musician and father of two. But I'm a drunk and I'm sick of it. Any advice? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. This is true for anybody. Are you guys ready? You guys ready to get deep? You an alcoholic? Drug addict? Or are you convincing yourself otherwise that you're medicating yourself? The deep down issue is that you likely carry something with you. You likely have a resentment about something that happened to your life probably a long time ago. Either somebody did something wrong to you, and you carry that around with you everywhere you go, and it eats you alive, or or actually, and you actually consider yourself to be a very good person. You consider yourself to be a very good person, but you've done some things that you're not proud of. And you can't forgive yourself for that. And because you can't forgive yourself, and because you beat yourself up over it, and because you have resentment against other people, you're trying to bury it. And you likely need to go get some help. Talk it out with somebody. The physical addiction is one thing, but what you are likely doing is suppressing other things going on. And the only way you're going to do that is to talk with somebody. So go talk with somebody that can help you. All right. Good luck, my dude. Santiago, my man, dude. There's a huge one, bro. Thank you, Santiago. That's not your first time to do that. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. No message, just the big bomb thrown in there. Thank you. Risu, how about Adam? We actually cover it. We've shown Adam a couple of times on here. There you go. Outside of seeing if it's completing a Wyckoff spring, that's kind of where you're at. Sebastian, it's your third largest bag. Why? Please say it in a nice and gentle way so I don't cry myself to sleep tonight. Yeah, I don't know why it's your third largest bag, but I don't know what to tell you. Look, okay, think of it this way, right? It's up to you. You do whatever you want. I'm never going to tell you what to do with your bags, but everything is low. You have enough time to, like, in this phase, to, like, research and look around. Everything's down similar percentages, or most things are down similar percentages, to do research and say, what's not being abandoned? Because EOS has been abandoned. Hey, BCB, I'd love your thoughts on accumulating the alt specifically named as possible securities, such as Solana, Matic, and Atom, to name a few. Thanks so much. I don't know, man. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole and tell you, yeah, it's a great idea to go buy the ones named securities. I don't know. I don't know how that story is going to resolve. I don't know if it's an intentional shakeout and that institutions are buying all those up and that there's some resolution that eventually ends up coming. And this was just a big shakeout of those particular coins. That's possible. I think that's just a gamble anybody's going to have to take on their own if they're willing to go with that. I can tell you from experience, it's been very crummy with XRP for 2.5 years in the lawsuit, which I think I saw today. Today marks the exact 2.5 years since that whole thing began. It's not fun. It's not fun. But, you know, they're not being, like, sued by the SEC, right? So I kind of leave that up to you. I'm not sure if, like, treating it as, oh, they're named as securities that gives alpha on buying them. I'm not sure. Clayton Rockstool, based on chart XRP, how much downside could we expect? Well, we kind of go through this like every day. You know, things I'm watching for would be potential A, B, C, which would get us down here into the 38s to 39s to 40s. But for me, my target zone really is this whole area, which, you know, go back a month, my target zone was this whole area. It has now been shifted up. It is no longer here, based on the recent price action that we've seen. And that if you are ABCing in here, or if we're doing a contracting triangle, which as many of you guys know as the crash, retrace, reaccumulation, that would be a hold of this area. So either holding of this area in here in the 42s, 41s, 42s, 43s, or in the event of ABCs, it still gets you down a little bit lower, down closer to 38. This is kind of my target zone. Whereas as we were continuing to fall, and what's been interesting about this continuation of fall right until May, is that most of the market did continue to fall from there, right? Is that we did see that, like, right? You see H bar, it falls, and then this is what we were looking for on XRP, right? We were looking for that next leg down to come. We were looking for that in most of the market, and we got it in most of the market to hold there and then fall. Yet XRP, of course, you have Hinman email hype, you have all that good stuff. You have the 200-day moving average in there. That was the hold. XRP goes up, right? So somebody asked earlier, Pi asked earlier, why market go up, but why did the market go up, but XRP stayed the same? We have to ask yourself, why did XRP go up like this when the rest of the market did not? So being stuck in the day-to-day price action is kind of just something to not do, because then you need to start asking yourself, well, why are we still sitting so high up here, right? Look where you are. Here's May pricing. XRP is sitting at 49, where May pricing's at 41, but you got the rest of the market. Here's May pricing. Here you are. Here's May pricing. Here you are. Here's May pricing, but here you are. But you head over to XRP. Here's May pricing. Here you are. So we're working on some interesting structures in here. So for me, this is the target area I'm looking for. And we'll see what happens if we get some surprise ruling. Can you explain nature symmetry? Says, can you, and here we are, I'm past an hour and 20 minutes. Jeez, my wife is right. All right, nature symmetry. Can you please explain in detail why you don't like Link? Is it all about developer decline, or are there other things that make you not like it? No, it's just developer decline. I've been running numbers like insane, like an insane man, in regards to inflation, in regards to developer decline, and it just when developer decline has what we saw in 2021. Okay, when now we have the data to go back and look at it. We can go back and look what were the performances based on developer data, and what we had was things that were showing developer decline were underperformers of the market. It didn't matter. Like it was just like a 100% hit rate. If it was developer declining, that meant the growth of it was done. I mean, just you can wrap your head around that logically, that if something is exciting and people are wanting to build on it, the ecosystem is growing, the network effect is growing, developers are coming in, it's an ecosystem that is constantly growing and excitement is happening. The second that that excitement is gone, the second that the growth is stopping and it's going in the opposite direction, it's almost like it's a death blow. And that's what we saw happen in 2021. So trying to, recognize that and accept that, right? You can't just deny it. We got to accept it. That would be the thing. That's why I can't get on board being a long-term Link holder. I'm not interested in it. Unless if their developer decline skyrocketed and there's all this excitement, but right now it does not show that. And that's not FUD, right? That's just me giving you the data. If you guys don't like that kind of data, I won't give it out. I'll keep it to myself. But I know you guys would rather, most of you would rather hear it. So that's my only thing with Link. That's it. Nothing else. Oh, jeez, Pigeon. I see you. I'm not at you yet, but I see it. George Alexanderopoulos, BCB, what price would you consider XRP dead, and would you cut your bags, or would you ride to zero? Hopefully we never have to worry about that. Right. Well, so like I've been through this market so much. So this is just a long-term investment bag for me. Right. So it's not, we dip down to 25 cents. I will be very disappointed. Right. I'm not selling because we're at 25%, but I'm also not going to be in the belief that we're getting out of here anytime soon. It will be that we'll be here a long time. When we were back here and you had all those people calling for 20 cents, like, and you guys may not get to see it, but I do. The herd is insane. They all have the same price targets at the same time. They watch the same YouTube videos. They regurgitate the same prices over and over again. I was hearing 22 cents and 20 cents nonstop when we were here, thinking to myself, do these people realize what would happen if we got down there? That we could sit here and just range in here for years. Years on end, we could range down in here, holding the lows and just ranging. But really, if we went and took out the low And see, that's why this is difficult. We go take out the low from back in 2020, which is 11 cents from 11 cents. Then you're probably looking at a death spiral. You're looking at a death spiral. Problem is that's 75, 80% down from here already. So you lose 80% and then you say it. So this is not a day trade for me. If I treated this one as a day trade, probably would have been out a long time ago. But it's not. It's long term. So, and that's the hard thing with the volatility. If you're going to play in this kind of market and you deal with these types of ranges of $3.30 to 11 cents to $2 to 30 cents, the real structural break of XRP happens at the break of the lower boundary of the range way back here. Otherwise, you could remain in multi-year like that. So have your time preference appropriately aligned. Hey BCB, is it fair to say that most of the alts will only go to retracements while the 20% go into all-time highs? It's right. So that would be a fair assessment to say if the market is going to behave like 2021, right? Will it behave like 2021 is the question. What if the new number is now 1 out of every 10, right? What if it's 4 out of 10, right? All we can do is look to the data that has structurally happened during the last one and say if there was a change, there was a shift from 9 out of 10 to 2 out of 10. Will that 2 out of 10 continue into the next one? If it does, then yeah, that's what it would be. But here's the problem. This has the appearance of a crash, retrace, reaccumulation, full extension, right? What is this? This is a contracting triangle. What do we have here? Crash, identical percentage as the crash. Retrace, reaccumulation's identical to the past. So have some of these ones that have gone into these retraces and these reaccumulations, is this one giant wave 4 setting up for a big, massive wave 5 ending? And that's what we don't know right now, is if that's what the circumstance is for these. And so that would change a little bit, right? Crypto Pigeon, yo BCB, been getting wrecked over here on 50x leverage, so naturally I'm 50x short on XRP right now. Let's see, that was at 9:30. Wait, no, that was, how long ago were you doing this? Well, you seem to be okay. You seem to have survived. First of all, I always have to reiterate this. Pigeon is a jokester. Maybe he does do this 50x leverage stuff, but he always jokes about getting wrecked and getting liquidated. I don't support leverage trading. It is the way you will lose all your money. And what happens is a natural progression of spiraling out of control like a drug addict or like a gambler or like a gambling addict. You try to make up for your losses. You increase the leverage. You increase the gambling until it's all just gone. And it's a very easy way to literally go to zero is by using any form of leverage. I do not use leverage. I don't support using leverage. Don't use leverage. You'll get yourself annihilated and it will all be gone faster than you can blink. And you will say, what have I done? And you will sit in a world of regret and anger and disappointment in yourself with how fast it will happen. Okay. On that note, good luck, Crypto Pigeon. Risu, what are your thoughts on the Atom chart? I think we already covered that. I showed it. It's in Wyckoff. It looks like to be in Wyckoff Spring. Cash Me Outside, thank you so much. Baby Oscar Hernandez, if you like puppies and babies, smash the like button. That's right. If you like the good guy, if you don't like the bad guy, right? If you like doing nice things for people, if you like feeling good, if you like feeling like you made a good difference in the world, and that if you want the bad guy to lose, then hit the like button. Thoughts on reactiveness? 618-7867 on XRP versus Bitcoin jury. We don't look at the XRP versus Bitcoin chart very often. The last time we looked at it, the only relevance it had was when we were at the 200-day moving average. Or was that the week? 200-week moving average. It might have been the week. Yeah. There you go. 2 times smashing that 200-week moving average. Maybe something to talk about once this thing gets out of here. Otherwise, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the rest of the market is doing. I'm way more focused on the USD value chart than I am caring about what XRP is valued in Bitcoin. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm fully caught up. If you love kittens and unicorns, hit the like button. That's right, Anthony. All right, guys. That's it. I need to go do the thing I never want to do and tell my wife she was right. I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes. I swear I thought I was going to get out of this thing at 45 minutes today. I don't know how this happens to me. It always does. I appreciate you guys coming out today, guys. We'll keep an eye on the market. Looks like we're pulling back here a little bit as the morning has gotten going. Let's see what the Dow is doing, the stock market's doing. Taking a tumble over here in the stock market, it looks like. No, never mind. The NASDAQ is up 33 points. The Dow is down 83. The S&P is down 6. So up 1/4 point for the NASDAQ, down 1/4 point for the Dow Jones, down 0.14% over there for the S&P. Looks like crypto did flip a little bit red over there. And Bitcoin back at 29,790. So let's take a look. We'll put you. No. We're going to go. Where are you, Bitcoin? Why am I blind? There you go. Little pullback in Bitcoin. Nothing unexpected here. So, all right. Oh, geez. You're not allowed to end the stream before Santiago's time banner has run out. Tell PTW it's his fault, as it would have been very disrespectful if he did. Well, thank you, Alpha Trader Inc. Yeah, I gotta go though, man. I gotta go. Because I have to finish this project, guys. I have to. I have to be able to make videos next week. I want to be back on my normal schedule. I miss it. So, yeah, I got to go. I appreciate you guys wanting me to stay, though. And yeah, I don't know if it's really actually want me to stay or you guys just want to chat with each other in the chat. Either way, I'll take it as a compliment. It's been a good week this week so far, with crypto being to kind of come out of the depths of the week prior with the SEC doing all their stuff. But otherwise, we'll check in tomorrow, you guys. I'm really looking forward to next week and getting back and really into the grind of just having a much normal BC backer channel. I miss it. On my with normal blockchain backer YouTube, I work probably 6 to 8 hours a day. I've been doing these 15 to 17 hour days, and even all I want to do is make YouTube videos. We're almost there. All right, I'm gonna quit whining in front of 1,500 people. All right, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.